Hello and welcome to Crucible of Words for more dedicated legacy action. Today we are going to be winning or losing the game very quickly. We are doing a donation deck for the Leyline Opalescence combo. So if you're unfamiliar with this, essentially the game plan is to put 4 or 5 of these into play on turn 1, or turn 0 in fact, and then tap a Serra's Sanctum on our turn, either finding it with a crop rotation or just naturally having it, to deploy Starfield of Nyx or Opalescence. Both of these make all of our things into creatures, and because they started the game in play, it means they have effectively haste. So on turn 1 we can bash for 20 if we've got enough of them. That's the deck. So we're going to be mulliganing hard, and because we're going to be mulliganing so hard, we have 4 Serum Powder. If you're unfamiliar with this one, it basically gives you a free mulligan, but you have to exile the card in your hand. But if your opening hand wasn't good, exiling the card in your hand probably isn't so bad either. We've got the crop rotations to find the Serra Sanctum. We've got some lands that can cast any colour. So these are basically going to be doing Enlightened Tutor or crop rotation most of the time. And yeah, we got the Enlightened Tutor. This is more for the sideboard games, to be honest, but sometimes it'll be useful in the main deck. That's basically all we're going to do. We're going to try and mulligan to a great hand and bash our opponent on turn 1. It's a bit of a fun donation deck, so let's see how we go. As for the sideboard, we've got a plan here. Our plan is board in 4 Rest in Peace. So we've got 4 Rest in Peace and 4 Leyline. And then we have these 4 Helm of Obedience, which you can find with Enlightened Tutor and use that to win the game with. That's kind of like our backup plan here. We also have some cards that just beat certain decks. So 4 Deafening Silence, 1 Rule of Law, that can beat Storm. The Rest in Peace can obviously help versus a lot of graveyard decks. And we have 2 Enlightened Tutor to help with the Helm of Obedience sideboard juke. Is this deck going to be great? Probably not, but we should have some fun times. Should be noted that 2 of these Leylines are pretty good. Leyline of Void and Leyline of Sanctity are both actually really good cards. The rest of them, not so much. Maybe we can Leyline of Lightning and get a few guys out. Get a few little bits of damage out here. But this is not really going to help very much, to be honest. Leyline of Combustion is kind of interesting. If we try and blow some of our stuff up, we might be able to get some things back. And that's about it, really. One of the options I did toy with was playing, I think it's called Karmic Justice. It's a 3 mana enchantment that whenever your opponent blows up one of your permanents, they have to sacrifice a permanent. However, the deck that's most likely to blow up all of our enchantments is Reanimator. And that's a 2 mana spell that then takes them another turn to tick over. And hopefully we win or lose the game by that point anyway. And we won't be able to blow up many of our opponent's permanents. So, not necessarily where we want to be. So we're just going to try and go as fast as we possibly can. So, I imagine we're going to get at least 1 turn 1 today. Hopefully many, but we'll see. So before we jump in, like, comment, subscribe. I doubt I'm going to get my play points back on this one, so let's get some good views on this one. Also, check out the Patreon link below as well. Okay, before I lose my voice, let's jam some Leylines. Alright, our opening hand has the Starfield. It's got 2 Leylines, but that's it, really. Like, the Sanctum is useful, but it's going to be so slow we should mulligan here. Only 1 Leyline. What's happening to us? Alright, I think we have to go again. How many Leylines do we have here? We have 3 Leylines, but no way of getting our thing. Is 3 Leylines good enough here? We can have 3 Leylines, Opalescence and Mana Confluence. That's probably okay. Is it going to... problem is the 4 is so bad here. The best we can... This is going to remove 2 of our payoffs as well. I think we have to keep this, and we're probably losing this game. We'll get rid of the expensive one. Alright, let's hope Leyline of Sanctity is good. Let's hope our opponent can't beat a Leyline of Sanctity main deck. Ganjo. Esper Sentinel. Okay. Leyline of Punishment. That's not the one. We're not supposed to play out this Mana Confluence, I don't think. Not until we have something like a crop rotation. Because our opponent could be a Wasteland deck. Okay, if they're playing Saga, they're less likely to be a Wasteland deck here. They're more on Hammer than they are Death and Taxes. So we can play out the Mana Confluence. We're going to have a bad time. When this pops, we're probably dead. But we knew that was going to happen quite often going in here. Leyline of the Meek. Where were you in my opening hands? Alright. We need to draw Serra's Sanctum next turn. Oh, they do have Wastelands and Urza Sagas. Oh no. This has gone horribly wrong for us. Okay. Fortunately, our opponent's not going to be like a counter spell deck, so we might just be able to turn 1 them at some point. Okay. We got nothing here. Let's see what our opponent does here. Chrome Mox. Alright, so this is not the hammer deck. This looks... It could be the hammer deck, I suppose. Okay, no, this is the deck that Perez won 2 challenges with. So we take our 1 here. What are we drawing here? City of Brass. If we draw a Serra Sanctum next turn, we might be able to do something here. If they're unfamiliar with how the initiative interacts with how the trap... Okay, they're going down the trap side, so they have to deal themselves 5 damage next turn. Because they can't target us. Oh, okay, there's a wasteland. They still do have to deal with themselves 5 damage. Oof. Seasoned Engineer on top. Alright, this game is pretty close to over. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're not dead. We might have 2 draw steps here. I guess they make a Saga construct, don't they? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make another one. Yeah, our hand just didn't do anything here. Alright. That was tough. That was real tough. Now, our opponent shouldn't be able to interact with anything we're doing early on because they're a white deck. So, I think we run it back. I don't think we do the Helm of Obedience because Rest in Peace isn't good against our opponent anyway. I think we just run it back and try and get a turn 1. That's what our deck's designed to do. Okay. Can we turn 1 our opponent? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have the mana. We just need the Opalescence. Are we supposed to keep this? We've got 8 draws that win us the game if we keep this. I think we have to mulligan and we just need to turn 1 our opponent. Otherwise it just gets really bad for us. I think we will powder this one. So we have to put one of these on the bottom of our library. Put the Leyline, I guess. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We can keep this. So begin with these in play. Chancellor of the Annex, you say. This does force our hand here. We need our opponent to not have a wasteland here. If our opponent doesn't wasteland us, we're okay. Please don't wasteland us, opponent. Ugh. Let's cast this. Let's pay for the trigger. Okay, so we'll get the Opalescence, because that's the cheaper one. If our opponent didn't have wasteland, we had turn 2, attack them for 12. That's like Enter the Warrens numbers. We have to play this out. Hope our opponent doesn't have a second wasteland, and hope that we can draw the Serra Sanctum. Because they had the Chancellors, we couldn't play out the Mana Confluence to play our Enlightened Tutor. Oh, they had a second wasteland. What is this? We're supposed to be the deck with all the specific good stuff, not our opponent. Yeah, our opponent's opening hand there was basically perfect. And our deck is far from perfect. There's a Chrome Mox with a Chancellor, a Chrome Mox with another Chancellor, I imagine. Yep. There's a Plains. Here comes Lorana the third path. Yeah, we'll skip this one up now. Alright. Bit of a sad start there. But, there we go. Let's go to round 2. 1, 2, 3. So this attacks for 3 mana. So turn 1 we play this, play Serum Powder. Turn 2 we Starfield of Nyx and bash. Is that good? Turn 2 bash for 12. I think we keep this. There's definitely ways this goes wrong, but we can beat Reanimator with this hand. So that's something. Hopefully this is going to be useful. We're not going to get any of our combo pieces discarded because we got the Leyline in play. Again, we're a bit cold to Wasteland. But that is unfortunately the way the cookie crumbles. Okay, Lotus Petal. This is probably not going to be a Wasteland deck. A Bauble. So we're looking at 8 cast, I would imagine. So we might be finding a Force of Will hitting our Serum Powder. Sorry, not our Serum Powder. Our Starfield. Okay. No land from our opponent. Interesting. Leyline of Punishment. That's not the one. Let's cast this. So next turn we have Starfield. And we get to bash for 12. They can bounce one of our things, unfortunately. Emery. This does not help them because we have a Leyline in play. We get to see their graveyard, see if they're on Painter, maybe. No, they're on Chalice. Okay, so they're unlikely to be Painter. We have a second Starfield that we can follow up with. That's pretty good. Starfield, please. So we need to control 5 or more enchantments. So next turn we play the other Starfield and then we bash for 5. So 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We got to do what we can do here. Just Bauble. A Thoughtcast. It should be noted that this is symmetrical. So it will pump Urza Saga tokens and construct, like Thopter tokens as well. Less than ideal. Attacking with the Emery. Our opponent's got 4 cards in hand. They didn't counterspell this. Our opponent doesn't have blue mana for the spell bomb yet either, which is handy. Chalice of the Void for 1. Sure, that's not what this game is about. Oh my god, are we going to do it? Right, they're cracking the bauble. A Mana Confluence. Do we need a Mana Confluence right now? It lets us cast Leyline of Punishment next turn if we need it. There's no reason not to play it though. So, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's cast Starfield. Yes. We're getting there. We live in the dream. Alright, our opponent's on 1. We've shot off their Ancient Tomb. We have a bunch of stuff. We can get a rare turn 5 win with Leylines. Or we're going to get blown out by something horrible. Part of the problem is our opponent's going to board in a load of counter magic for the next game. And if they have bounce spells, they can bounce our Starfields. So we might be boarding out the Starfields and into the Helm plan. Because we have Rest in Peace as well. Which is going to be good against the Emery. Here's the Thoughtcast. What did you find? If they find a blue source, they can bounce our Starfield. But they need a blue source to bounce it and a counterspell to stop it coming back down. There's the island. If we can find another Sanctum, then we'll be okay. Right, so we can cast this Leyline, we can cast the other Leyline. They can't activate their Ancient Tomb. They can bauble and then replay it with the Emery though. That's not a terrible sequence for them. I imagine they're going to crack it now if they don't have a counterspell in hand. There's another bauble. Feels like they got a counterspell since they didn't crack these 2 baubles. Okay. Here goes nothing. Now the important thing to remember here is if they counter this, Starfield of Nyx will bring it back next turn. Oh yeah, we got there. The turn 4 Leyline kill. Excellent. So, we've got one on the board. I'll take it. Things are actually good in this matchup. Deafening Silence isn't the matchup for it, but it's not terrible. Helm of Obedience, Rest in Peace is something I'm interested in. Which means we probably want these tutors as well. Maybe we'll play Silence on the play, but not on the draw. Crop Rotation feels like a bit of a liability against the blue deck. So we'll get rid of those. And then we'll get rid of whatever the worst Leylines here. So Leyline on the Meek is pretty bad because it pumps their construct tokens. And we'll probably jam a couple of these Starfields out as well. Sure, let's roll with this. It's going to be hard against the blue deck. I thought we were going to have a good shot against the white deck in round 1, but there were many a wasteland. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a City of Brass. That doesn't really get us anywhere though, does it? I think we should mulligan this. So we have 2 Leylines. We can make a turn 2 Opalescence and bash for 8. That's not very strong. I think we will powder. And we'll put in one of the Sanctums. It's a bit annoying that we have to get rid of the Sanctum there. Okay, this is better. We'll keep this. Again, this is not great. But it's better. So we can ping a little bit. That's kind of interesting. I'm not sure how many 1/1s we're really going to get to ping with the Leyline, but... Alright, and there's a Saga. There's probably going to be a Haywire Might inside this when it pops, which is going to be awkward for us. Oh, they just have the Haywire Might now. That's also bad for us. Leyline of the Void. Playing this one out. Question. Are we playing the Serum Powder? That lets us cast 4 drops. We can always jam the Rest in Peace next turn. I think we're just going to play this out. Why do we have to pay 1 for this? Can't we just have it for free? I don't think it's that strong. Some of the Leylines are significantly worse than the 2 good ones. So now we can play Rest in Peace and ping for 2. Haywire Might does make it difficult for us to win with the Helm kill. Or indeed the Opalescence kill. It's a shame these can't ping creatures. Right, we're getting some Leyline of Lightning damage in. We are, after all, a beatdown deck of sorts. Okay. So we can cast Starfield now. Right, they're making a guy. There's a Saga token. The problem now is our creatures are smaller than Saga tokens. This is a Kappa Cannoneer. Sure, they bash for 8. We are dead next turn. Even if we make our guys, I guess we're in Chomp Block Town. I suppose we can have a look at the top card of our library, then concede. That doesn't do it. We'll concede the game there. Okay. What is the plan here? We're supposed to go back to the other plan. Body's out. Quite like Deafening Silence here, to be honest. I want to try this out. And we'll submit. Deafening Silence could buy us lots of turns. Come on, deck. Just give us the real good one. No mana sources, unfortunately. If we powder this... Yeah, I think that's better. 1, 2, 3... Play this for... Yeah. We'll keep this. Opponent's mulligan to 6 cards. Leyline, Leyline, Leyline. City Brass, Deafening Silence. This gives us another artifact to attack with, another enchantment to attack with. Is also our 4th one to make our Serra Sanctum activate. This will stop our opponent from deploying anything of note on the first turn, because they can't play any good creatures here. There's a Saga. They can probably play a Bauble. Alright, that's their spell for turn. They can't target us with the Mishra's Bauble. They have to target themselves. Not that they really care. Helm of Obedience. Interesting. Alright. We assume our opponent has a counter spell, but we don't really have any choice but playing into it. Force of Negation, pitching Thoughtcast. Sure. If one of our cards was... If one of our Leylines was the Leyline of the Void, then I think we'd be quite favoured to win this game at this point. Unfortunately, that's not where we are. I don't think they even need to crack their Bauble necessarily. They are still cracking it though. I'm imagining an ancient tomb there, so they can make a guy. So what we need here is not that. Let's play a Helm of Obedience. Worst case scenario, we can fire off a big one of these, but that's not really the plan. So we're looking for one of our 4 Rest in Peace. And that can win us the game. But our opponent gets a Haywire Might here. And if they have a green source, like a Lotus Petal, that's going to be a problem. They could have a Pithing Needle for Helm of Obedience. That'd be annoying. We can still draw Opalescence or Starfield of Nyx. I can't gain any life, so our combo will do enough damage. There's the Haywire Might. They got the Petal or the Opal. They have a Seat of the Synod and a Thoughtcast. Okay. So Haywire Might isn't live this turn. We could try and fish for a creature, our opponent, but maybe we will do that. Interesting. We'll jam this Helm of Obedience. Is the amount of mana we have going to be relevant here? I don't think so. I guess if they Haywire Might one of our enchantments, we'll need the Serra Sanctum to cast a Starfield. So we're not supposed to play this one out and let it sack, because we might need both of them to play the Starfield. This is 4, 8, 9. Alright, there's a Saga. They got an artifact to follow it up with. It's a maximum of 10 damage. I think we fire off one of the Helms and see if we hit. It's 1 damage, but that doesn't impact the clock. Okay. There's a Lotus Petal. They can blow up this Deafening Silence and deploy a whole bunch of stuff and try and kill us. Should be a little bit scary. Let's see if we find a Thought Monitor. That would be great. Buys us a turn. But it can block a 5/5 and also gain us 2 cards, which might find the thing we need. We did not. Okay. That wasn't the one. Okay, deck. Help me out here. Didn't really help me out, did you? We tap this for 4. How many X's are we going to do here? If we just do the full 4, I think that's what we have to do here. No hit. Alright. For this one, keep this one. So if we're looking to hit, I think none of their creatures are going to be good enough to stop us dying to this. So we're looking for Opalescence or Starfield. We can't do Opalescence, so this X has to be 1. We're looking for Thought Monitor here. And holding up 4 to cast an Opalescence we draw. A Sigh. Nope, we're done. Yep, our silly deck is very silly and struggling a bit. I'm determined to get a match win. So let's go to round 3. We're on the play for this round. What does our hand do? This isn't the one. Are we Serum Powdering this for 7? I think we are. Our opponent does get to see what we're doing, unfortunately. This has 8 draws that do stuff. I guess we're powdering. 1, 2, 3. First one does this, second one. Okay. We keep this one. Our opponent knows what we're doing though, so they get the option of mulliganing to Force of Will, which is a little bit rude. It's kind of the problem with, well, it's one of the many problems with this deck, right? Say, okay. Play this. We can flash this in on our opponent's turn. Boom. We play the game when I say we play the game. So I can cast a Starfield next turn. Oh, don't do it. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, opponent. Why are you going to play me like that? Ugh. You hate to see it. We just had the wrong Leylines out. Ugh. Now, they're a blue deck. They might have all sorts of other things. But if we'd have had the Leylines of our choice, then we would have been A-okay. Alright, we're looking at here. Like Grixis control. Powerful Strix. Okay. Leyline of the Void. That's not the one. There's a Volcanic Island. Narset, Part of Veils. That doesn't really impact us here. Force of Will. That does impact us, sadly. It's going to be tough. Things like that don't particularly help either. Right, City of Brass. I don't understand why Serum Powder doesn't give you mana of any colour. Feels like it should. Snapcaster Mage. So our opponent just wants to get us dead before we can do anything, which makes sense. They found a blue card off of their Narset. There's a Brainstorm. We take ourselves 3 points of damage. There's another unplayable card. Our deck is full of unplayable cards. Another Serra's Sanctum. Okay. We've been given lots of opportunities to draw something. But we need to draw two things because our opponent's got Force of Will Brainstorm. This game could have been so different if this was Leyline of Sanctity. Colligan's Command. Goodbye, Mr. Chips. It's 3 damage right in our face. A Mana Confluence. Okay. I guess. I don't think our opponent's going to counterspell this one. So we got 3 damage coming in here. A Colligan's Command or Lightning Bolt kills us. Nothing. A Starfield of Nyx. This is not going to resolve. 4, 8, 12, 16. That's us. Dead. So, this is difficult. Alright, let's try and do some Rest in Peace Helm shenanigans. Don't really want to get our spells countered. None of these really matter. We could board in some more Enlightened Tutors. I don't think that's that useful here. It just gives us slightly more hits. Come on, deck, hook me up. Through these. Yeah, I think we can keep this one. Our opponent's deck isn't the fastest at killing us. We've certainly got the graveyard covered. Maybe we can just get some sweet Leyline of Lightning damage. Our opponent's not also going to wasteland us because they're Grixis. No Leyline of Sanctity is a little bit upsetting, but the things we do for content, right? Let's cast this. Ping our opponent for 1. Boom. We're officially winning. So now we have 2 different graveyard hate pieces here. So if our opponent happens to not have a counterspell and we go for our Helm, that would be nice. Sure. We've got 12 must counter spells, right? Right, let's do this. Ping our opponent for 1. Come on. The slow boat to trying to kill our opponent. We play his land because we might as well. 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we have lethal if we find the Opalescence. We have lethal if we find the Helm. This blocks from these. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we don't have lethal if we find Opalescence anymore. Leyline of Sanctity. Yes, please. I wish this could ping creatures, this Leyline. Okay, so we can't be discarded. But that's not really the problem here. The problem is them counterspelling the one thing that matters. Narset? Sure. A Ponder. That can help them find a Force of Will. It's also a blue card if they have a Force of Will in hand, which I suspect they do if they kept their opener. Leyline of Lightning we cannot cast here. Our opponent doesn't have a very fast clock as of yet. A Brainstorm. There goes the Brainstorm. There's a fetch land to get rid of the bad cards. There's Ponder. I chose not to shuffle. That's pretty bad for us. There's an Ambush Viper just here to attack us. Let's cast this. Is our opponent's life total more important than this Nasa? I don't think so. Let's take the Nasa out. We don't know if our opponent's got like a wheel effect. I don't want them to draw a fresh 7. We have many enchantments in play. We do actually have most of the good ones here, right? We got Leyline of the Void, we got Rest in Pieces, we got Leyline of Sanctity. We've got actual good cards. But we're not doing anything with them. What is this? Fatal Mirror Breaker. That's a creature. It attacks. It also blocks. It's on 12. Effectively 11 if you find the spell anyway. Mana Confluence. Alright. Is it worth me paying 2 life here? So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 12, 18. 6, 12. If we pay 2 here, maybe on 13. How important is having another Leyline of Lightning in here? Honestly, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think we just pass. We're not going to be able to chain a bunch of spells together here. We appear to be buffing our opponent's creature again. This is not where we want to be. There's a Ponder. There's an Arset. What are you going to find? There's a Force of Will. Okay, so we need to draw a runner here. So we need to get through this Force of Will and then get through the next Force of Will. Not easy. Okay. Not impossible either, though. We're putting this Narset down, I think. Sure. I go to 11. We ping their Narset down so that if they cast... So if they activate it, they lose it at least. We have plenty of enchantments in play. So we need another one of those, please. Starfield plus Rest in Peace is a bit of a nombo if you're trying to go long that way, but that's not really what we're trying to do. So our opponent bashes here. We have 1 turn to try and win the game with. That's not the one. Alright, we're a quick 0-3, but I'm determined to try and get a match win somewhere along the lines. So let's keep going. Round 4. Alright. What does our hand do? Not enough. Only 2 Leylines, many lands. I think we need to mulligan, unfortunately. Many Leylines, no payoff. We've got 8 payoffs in our deck. Are we supposed to keep this? I think so. We don't have any of the good Leylines, which is another problem. Sapazan's scary. Okay, our opponent is probably on the Thassa's Oracle style decks. I'm not going to play out Serum Powder because I don't want to expose our Serra's Sanctum, although Sapazan's scary isn't something... I don't think we actually have to worry about that. Let's cast this. So we're more worried about getting wheeled away than we are getting our Serra's Sanctum destroyed in a Sapazan's scary matchup. Our opponent's probably going to be trying to Thassa's Oracle win, or they're doing some sort of Echo of Eons type shenanigans. It's not the one. Come on. We have 8 draws that just immediately win us the game. That's 1 in like 7-ish draws. Come on. That's not one of them. As you've probably worked out by now, this deck is not good. What are you going to find us, opponent? Is it going to be a Force of Will? It's a Chromox. Okay. That's not a Force of Will, so there's hope. Why doesn't Serum Powder tap for mana of any colour? A question that we do not know the answer to. Okay. And a Lotus Petal. Feels like our opponent's some sort of Karn Echoes deck. Let's see. There's a Hull Breacher. Are we getting wheeled here? It doesn't matter too much to me. So they can make some enormous Ezra Saga constructs in the near future. If they can't just kill us here. Alright, there's some more artifacts. He's looking for Karn. They've got 10 mana, so they can Karn and Lattice in 1 turn. Well, hopefully they got nothing, and then we just get to jam at them with all of our terrible Leylines. We have 2 Leyline of Combustion, so if they take our Sanctum out with a Karn plus Liquid Metal Coating, at least it will cost them 4 life. Hull Breacher, Echo of Eons. We have to choose which of the 2 Hull Breachers we want to give them the treasure for. So if we had a Leyline in the Void, our opponent wouldn't have been able to do this. Okay, they don't have enough to Lattice lock us just yet. What is this going to be? Haywire Might would be a very good one, but actually they can't do Haywire Might because they've got Chalice. Alright, so they can turn off our Serra's Sanctum, which I would describe as being rude. They have a Force of Will in hand. Are they going to remember to cutting down the Sanctum? Aha! Take 4 damage. Who's got the good clock now? It's still them. Okay, we got another land though. We're 1 mana off casting Opalescence, even if they do look about cutting us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can lattice lock us this turn if they want. And that will be game. Actually, no, we can't activate our Serum Powder, can we? So, still a bit shy. You got the lattice here? Why are you doing this? You have lattice lock. This is just excessive. Oh, you just want me to click through these Hull Breacher triggers. As they get progressively smaller every time they make a treasure. Oh dear. Yes, you can have all your treasures. There's the Lines of Diamond. Finally doing that with their Khan. Myxinth Lattice. Sure. So, that did not work out for us. As with every other round. But this is a matchup where Rest in Peace is good. This is a matchup where Deafening Silence is probably pretty good too. And I like some Helms if we're doing this plan. Don't really want crop rotations against the counterspell deck. None of these are particularly exciting. It doesn't really matter which ones. Get rid of those and get rid of the Leylines of the Meek. So we have 23 Leylines. That's probably fine. Come on, deck. 1 Leyline. We're getting rid of a lot of good cards if we powder this, but I think we have to. Alright. 2 Leylines plus a Deafening Silence. Alright, we can keep this one, I think. Where's the Leyline of Narset? Or something. Let's give us some better Leylines than these ones. Or let us play all the printings of the good Leylines. Alright, only 2 Leylines in play. Not a great start. But we have some other plays here. We go Sanctum. We'll go for Enlightened Tutor. I don't expect this to resolve. Oh, it did. Interesting. Are we getting the Rest in Peace? I think we want the Rest in Peace here. Then we'll jam this Deafening Silence. Next turn we can jam with all of these. If our spell resolves. That's their spell for turn. There's our Rest in Peace. Now, are we supposed to play the Rest in Peace? Or the Opalescence? 4, 8, 9. That's not that exciting. I think we are in Rest in Peace town. This shuts down their Echo of Eons, which is their main engine. So we have 2 relatively good prison pieces against our opponent here. Seagate Reborn. Ooh, yeah. Taking the damage. So our opponent's representing Hull Breacher at end of turn here. An Opalescence. Let's have an Opalescence, please. So this kills Hull Breacher. This kills Hull Breacher. I'd rather keep these in play, I think. Let's do this. Okay. This is the Hull Breacher. Still got to get past this Rest in Peace if you want to Echo. They have Days Undoing. That's kind of annoying. But we're still okay-ish. Like, they're still locked to 1 spell a turn. And we've just got a reasonable beatdown plan going here. There's an Ancient Tomb. Ooh. They've activated it. Days Undoing. Okay. Come on, let's draw something great here. A Leyline of Anticipation. That's not one we can cast, is it? So we go to attacks. Attack with these 2. They got a lot of mana, but they can only cast 1 spell a turn. They can double block and lose both their Hull Breaches. Otawara on the Opalescence. Very rude. So this is awkward because they can still Force of Will this because they haven't cast a spell yet. But we're in again. Okay. Our opponent's sitting on 7. Every time I tap this Ancient Tomb, it helps us out. Ooh, they're going to pay 3 life? Oh, we're giving them fear. You can't have much more to interact with creatures here. Due to the nature of their deck. Ooh, they're on 5. There's this hardcast Echo of Eons. Alright, this is your only non-creature spell of the turn. We get to bash you with some big boys. Just go another creature. Oh, it's an Otawara. Oh no, this could be bad for us. Although every turn has been bad for us, pretty much. Alright, oh god, why do you have to keep making me click? Sure. Yep, have all your treasures. Go attacks. Send in the boys. This opens up possibilities of Echo of Eons, but oh my god, we got a win there. Alright, alright. That's something. Let's have a Rule of Law in here as well, shall we? Let's have that over a Serum Powder. Let's try that. Alright. Are we going to get a win? Okay. 1, 2, 3 mana. This is too slow, I think, isn't it? I think we'll powder this. 1, 2, 3. Alright, this one's pretty good. We'll keep this. No graveyard for you, opponent. Alright. We rest in peace, ping them for 1, untap Opalescence. They do get to play as many spells as they want, but they can't use their graveyard. Oh, Deafening Silence is a good one. Let's go for rest in peace first. We're not going to ping here, because we're going to play this Deafening Silence. No graveyards for you, opponent. Alright, we're in with the Deafening Silence. A Narset, okay. What are you going to find? You're going to find a Force of Will and be boring. A Force of Negation. Very boring. Helm of Obedience. That does kill our opponent next turn, doesn't it? Our own Deafening Silence stops us here, though. This will definitely get our opponent to use their counterspell, I think. This one doesn't always win us the game. We'll put this on the Narset here. Force of Negation. There it is. Pitching Echo Beyonds. Excellent. We can't play this now because of this. We need to fade a turn here without our opponent messing our hand up. So we're fine with the Narset. Don't be a counterspell. Don't be that guy. Let us have our fun. Seagate Restoration. Okay. Tapped. Our opponent has 3 cards in hand. Opalescence. 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. So the Helm of Obedience does just kill our opponent. Is that better? This is the harder one for our opponent to interact with. Let's cast this. We will not be paying for this though, because we need the mana to kill our opponent here. If this resolves, we should be able to win the game here. Yes! We got a match win! Oh, I'm stoked about that. We've managed to dodge the 05. Ecstatic. Brilliant. Okay, let's see if we can make it a 2-3. That would be incredible. Oh, it's the final round. We have 4 Leylines and the Opalescence. We don't have a way of getting our big mana. I think we have to mulligan. Our opponent gets to know what we're doing. Powder it is. Put one of the Opalescences back in the deck. 1, 2, 3. Double crop rotation isn't really the one, is it? Ugh. This isn't good enough. But if we go to 5, it gets worse. I think we keep this on the hope that our opponent cares about their graveyard to the extent that we can win this game. We've already got our match win, which is more than we were expecting to get. So I'll take it. If it's Reanimator, they are just cold to Leyline of the Void. So we are Thoughtseize proof here as well on turn 1. Now our deck is so bad that... Oh my god, yes! The Leyline was good. Alright. What a stupid game. Okay. Rest in peace, please. We'll have these helms. This means Deafening Silence is probably going to be good, as is Rule of Law. So we're going to board out whichever one, it doesn't really matter. The crop rotation is more likely to be good in this matchup. So, Sanctity, very good. Meek, all these things are fine. Maybe we're boarding out a Serum Powder. Let's board out a Leyline here. And I think it was the crop rotation we brought out last time, which feels awkward, doesn't it? Maybe it's 2 Enlightened Tutor if they're playing Reanimator. How many of these effects do we need in terms of our Sanctum? We've got the crop rotations. We'll trim 1, and then we need to find 1 more cut. Don't think we can cut all of these. Maybe we'll cut 1 Starfield, because it's a bit expensive and might not get us there. Alright, so our plan is start with Leyline. Our opponent show and tells in, we put Helm of Obedience in, we win the game. That's a good solution. This is annoying. We have the mana to do some cool stuff. If they're Reanimated though, maybe we just want to try and Helm of Obedience them. We're definitely going to get Thoughtseize on turn 1 though, so I think we do powder this one. As annoying as that is. Ugh. Don't have to mulligan. Our opponent's going to have Serenity in their deck, right? Okay, we keep this. We put a card on the bottom. I guess a Leyline. I'll put one Leyline in here and say okay. This means if they Thoughtseize us, at least they take 2, which might mean it's more difficult for them to do reanimate lines. I'm assuming our opponent is reanimate attack. Grief. Certainly pitching in 2. Okay, we're probably losing the Helm of Obedience here, but it could be the crop rotation. Boom, 2 damage. Yeah, that's the Helm. What are you going to follow up with, opponent? Reanimate. Yep, we're going to get them to... We'd have done just automatically put that one on the stack there. So we're probably losing the crop rotation here. Okay. There's a Deafening Silence. Our opponent is a deck that probably has Serenity in it, so that's also bad for us. Things being bad for us is very much the theme of the league today. Scrubland. No Serenity yet. Mana Confluence. 3 damage from the Grief. Over to us. Rest in peace. I'll take this one. This is a very real cost for us here. 2 life is a lot. That does put us into less turns. The Grief can kill us in. But this stops them from making a big guy. Well, kind of stops them from making a big guy. It also stops them from... sorry, it also gives us a win condition, right? Which is something we do need. If they cast a Show and Tell, they might live in fear of us putting in Helm. They don't necessarily... I don't think they know what our last card in hand is. Because the time they griefed us, they didn't see this. Alright, they're going to Thoughtseize us. Slightly ahead of the damage race. And now we're not. Leyline of the Void. And that doesn't do it. Again, they kind of have to live in fear of Show and Telling us into a win. Which is funny. Opalescence. Oh, so close. So close. Can we do it? Oh, please. Please, Magic God, smile on me. Need a mana source. 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's not actually enough to win the game. But we can get close. Another one. Alright. I like how we sideboarded in that matchup. I think we're just going to run it back. And... maybe I don't like the Rule of Law. Maybe I just want this crop rotation just to guarantee our big mana. Sure. It's hard to know how to sideboard with a deck that is intrinsically so bad, but... Oh my god. 3, 4, 8, 12. Like, we're keeping. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So. We go... Rest in peace. Into Deafening Silence. The hope here is that we don't get Thoughtseized. It's a bit of a big ask given what our opponent's deck does. Oh my god. They played their spell. They could grief us, to be fair. But they can't Thoughtseize or unmask us. It has to be grief. 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, they had the grief. Good grief. Sure. Alright. I think we're incentivized to keep this in our hand. This makes our opponent scared to Show and Tell, in theory. We could kill them in their upkeep for style points, can we? That's pretty funny. Let's try that. Oh, yes. We're getting to get there. Yeah, we got 2-3. Oh, wow. Yeah. Incredible. I was not expecting to get any play points back on this, and the fact that we got 2-3 is a miracle. Alright, let's talk about the deck quickly. So, obviously, this deck is terrible. I don't think that's a big surprise to anyone watching this video. But, this was a donation deck. Our opponent, our donor wanted to see... Oh, my voice is going, sorry for that. A donor wanted to see a classic Opalescence Leyline deck. And we did that a little bit, but it was very hard to pull off. But what we did actually have some good learning with today was how the Leylines into the prison pieces, like Deafening Silence, Rest in Peace, Rule of Law, these sorts of plays were actually pretty good. We could do this and then follow up with a cheap Helm or something like that. And that actually felt like we were playing not terrible Magic, right? It felt like a bit like we were playing like the mono black Helm deck, which is a pretty fine deck. It's not as good as it was when Delver was good, but you know, it's still fine. If we had some better Leylines, then you know this deck would be better. We need like Leyline of Narset on a Leyline of on a blue Leyline or something. That'd be good. But what this has made me wonder is if there is room for some sort of enchantment deck that you're running your 8 Leylines, so you run the 8 good ones, maybe you can find room for another one. So let's just see this one. So whenever you release 1 permanent you control. So this stops you being Tendrils of Agony, if I'm correct. So this kind of stops Storm from getting you, which is an important thing to do. And like obviously this Leyline and this Leyline are just good. Leyline of Anticipation is kind of playable sometimes. Like the Belcher deck sometimes run it. So let's just put all the unplayable rubbish in this pile. Pretty much. So if you wanted to, you could run a deck like this. Have a bunch of Deafening Silence in there. Have a bunch of Rest in Peace. Run 4 Helm. And you're not really an Opalescence deck at that point. But I guess you could maybe do it. But we could trim some of these things that are just bad and have a slightly more normal mana base. And instead of trying to be an Opalescence deck, we can actually be like an enchantment prison-y style deck. You think got things like Ghost Quarter and stuff like that. So maybe we could just control our opponent out with all these prison pieces and then just try and win with Helm. Or there's probably some other enchantment we could use to win that doesn't use... Well, I guess I was going to say it doesn't use a combat step because we can run things like Moat and things like that. But you could run things that make flyers. So instead of Opalescence, like you could probably run an Opalescence or a Starfield in your deck. But that wouldn't necessarily be how you're trying to win the game. I don't know. Maybe there's something, not in this deck, obviously. This deck is just nonsense. But there is something with Serra Sanctum plus Leylines plus some good prison-y stuff. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll have a think about that one. But anyway, my voice is almost gone now. But we managed to get a 2-3 with Leylines in the year 2023. And that is incredible. It's basically the good cards we were playing, like Deafening Silence and Rest in Peace, have done a lot of heavy lifting for us. But we got there, right? And we did get a beatdown game or 2 in. So it's not like it was just on the Helm. But the Helm was the best thing we were doing. Alright, my voice is almost gone. So, thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out the Patreon. Goodbye.